Hello, beautiful women. And we're back to circle skills. We had a little bit of a pause, but we're back. So we've got 2 more days, day 9 and day 10. And this is day 9, and I'm coming to you live from the van. So if you're just jumping into circle skills, this is a 10-day journey through some core skills to be a truly powerful circle holder and create a space where transformation can take place. So I'm Mitlay Southey, and I'm on a mission to help as many women as possible experience the transformative power of circles. And a big part of that is mentoring women to step into that path or onto that path as circle holders, and to support those on the path to really deepen their capacity as circle holders and provide a community for us to guide each other, teach each other, learn from each other, to give, to receive, and to have a really powerful community of women who are holding space for others in the many, many different ways that women in Circle School are doing so. So this Circle Skills, a little course, I'm going to pop it all in a playlist for you. So if you have missed any, you can catch up. And this is day 9. And today we're talking about integration and embodiment. So if you have missed any, I highly recommend going back to the beginning, because they kind of flow from one to the other. They don't kind of, they do flow from one to the other. So the importance of integration. There are really 2 areas of integration that I want to touch on. Firstly is the integration process throughout Circle. So we've been talking about Circle as a journey, from that moment where the women cross the threshold into that safe and sacred space with you, and the journey that you take them on, the practices that you share, the experience that they have, the sharing that takes place. And between each of those, there's what we call a transition. So as you move women from one element of your circle to the next element of your circle. So watch the video on transitions as well, because they're really important and can be overlooked. And it's just one of those things to think about to ensure that flow of your circle, that it flows as smoothly and as elegantly as possible. It's almost so the women don't notice that they're moving from one practice to the other. I don't mean they don't notice the practice, but they're not aware of, a whole scene change. It just flows effortlessly and gracefully and beautifully. And in doing that, in really thinking about those transitions, the women will feel even safer in that space. Okay, so what I want to build on then from transitions is integration and or embodiment. Firstly, think about what those 2 terms mean to you. What does integration mean to you in this context? And what does embodiment mean to you in this context? And then hear what I'm saying and see if you can apply that to your understanding of the terms. And it's a bit of a dance. It's a bringing these ideas and these concepts together in a way that is effective for you. So integration throughout your circle is that if you're sharing practices, then each of those women will have an experience of that practice. And it's really important that we don't just abandon that and move on to the next part of the circle, that we allow that practice to be fully integrated for each woman. And that may be different for each woman, what is required. Some practices will completely, be soul shaking for some and may feel a little mundane for others. It's not a competition, but it's just to be aware that everyone will need some form of integration. And so when I'm talking about integration, it's really a mix of giving women some time to let that experience settle, to reflect on the experience, to be able to access anything that they received during that practice or experience, any wisdom that came through to them, anything that they want to capture, anything that is inviting deeper self-inquiry from them, or anything that they wish to release following that. So in my circles, we'll often do a guided journey. And usually after that, I'll always allow time for journaling or provide time for journaling. Sometimes that is prompted, so I will ask specific questions for them to consider, but more often it is simply stream of consciousness journaling. So as we come out of that journey, there's this time for each of us just to come back into this present moment, to use our journals, to use our pens, to record anything that we want to. It may be the story that we saw, the journey that we went on. It may be some guidance that we received while we were in that place. It may be a sensation, a feeling, just a little soul whisper that came through that we want to capture. And there are various ways of supporting or scaffolding through effective journaling. Other ways may be to do something, to really embody a practice by movement. So I was recently introduced to non-linear movement. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but I'd love to know your experiences if you are. The idea of just moving your body in whatever way feels good to you. This can be with music or without music. But whatever that practice was, then being able to move it through your body physically, allowing yourself to do whatever you need to do to integrate, to embody that practice. So that could be non-linear movement. It may be to get up and, actually shake something off. If we've had a round of sharing that has felt deep or heavy, or there's been a big group release, getting up and moving our bodies, shifting the energy, allowing ourselves to integrate that. I keep doing that shake. It's one of those, Florence the Machine is a great song for shaking it out. It may be stepping outside to lie on the grass and to allow everyone to really ground themselves if there's been an incredible practice that's taken us somewhere else. So just thinking about the practices that you're sharing and having a list of integration practices that you're able to then share. So you may be very clear on what you're going to do after each practice, but then you may also notice what's happening and think, actually, this would be a more effective practice, or this is the one I'm going to share. This is the integration that we're going to try now, or the embodiment practice that we're going to try. The second part of this is, so that's integration throughout your circle, allowing time for that, putting that into your circle map. Again, it's one of those, we can get very focused on the big things, like I'm going to share this practice, or this is going to be a long round of sharing. But these transitions and integration are just, if not more, important. It's better to share one incredible practice, which is fully integrated, or as far as that's possible within a 3-hour slot, but as integrated as possible for actual transformation, rather than skipping that and rushing on to share yet another practice. And then the second part of this is offering that kind of scaffolding when the women leave your circle. So when you come to closing your circle, and we've talked about the importance of closing, another part, they're all important, don't rush any of them. When you come to your closing, is to include some suggestions and just a few words around the continuation of that integration process. So within the circle, we're looking at integrating or embodying each individual element as far as you see that as necessary. And then after circle, integrating, embodying the whole, the entirety of that circle. So remembering that women may be going out of that space, out of that safe, that sacred space, and are rushing back to collect children, to cook dinner, to do work because they've taken 3 hours out and they now need to catch up. Perhaps they're going to care for an elderly parent. Perhaps they are visiting friends. Whatever it is, they're going back out into their lives. And so allowing them to understand, gifting them those resources to know that that integration process will continue after the end of circle. We don't just come out of circle, close the doors, we're done, thank you very much, see you in a month. That process continues. So sharing with them your experience of integration, giving them some ideas around what that might look like. So I would say the most common, and these are just in my experience, again, draw on your well of experience. Some time alone, many of us need that to allow that process, that journey to integrate. Drinking plenty of water. When we've had these new experiences, when we've processed, released, received, drinking lots and lots of water to physically flush our systems out as well, because we've been working at that energetic level. We also need to take care of our physical body. So that may, for some, it's eating, having a healthy meal just to ground and come back into their bodies fully. Some people need to sleep to integrate. That's when that integration process takes place. Water. I love water. Water is my most favorite integration process in all its forms. So crying, drinking water, having a shower or a long hot bath. If you're in a climate and you're by the ocean where that's a possibility, throwing yourself into salt water, having a swim, can all be really, really powerful ways to integrate that journey. So you could all, they're kind of self-care practices in effect, but again, we come back to doing it with intention, and the meaningful purpose is to integrate our experience. Allow them to know that things may still come up after that circle. And you may wish to touch on what is sometimes described as a vulnerability hangover. So if you have had a circle where women have shared really deeply on an intimate issue, it doesn't have to be, I mean, this is very judgmental, what's an intimate issue? So not judgmental, I mean, it's, you know, so what we may think is intimate and a complex or challenging issue may differ. You know, each of us may have a different barometer for that. But more importantly is that some of us will wake up the next day and wish we hadn't shared what we shared. So the guidelines at the very beginning help with that. And I'm very clear that, you know, please don't share anything that you may regret sharing. Not everybody likes that kind of wording, but we're using our discernment. We have to practice using our discernment. Despite that, sometimes the next day, everything seemed fine in circle, and then someone thinks, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have shared that I'm going to leave my husband. Or I shouldn't have shared that I really hate being a mother. Because they then back in their real life, and that starts to feel like, you know, there's guilt and there's shame. This isn't all the time, by the way. I just want to explain why the integration process can be so powerful and is very important. And so allowing women to know, remind them that everything there is held in confidence, that nothing that happened in circle will be repeated out of circle, and that's why we close the circle so formally, that this is now complete. And remind them to take care of themselves, to be gentle with themselves, to be compassionate with themselves if any of those thoughts come up, that what they have shared is being held safely. There's no need for those feelings. That's not great wording, is it? There's no need, because, you know, feelings come up for us. But if you can help them feel safe right up until that point where they leave your circle, and then give them some resources, some tools to support themselves over the next 24, 48, 72 hours, that'll have a huge impact on how they integrate that whole process. So yeah, that is integration. The third part of integration I'm actually going to touch on in lesson 9, which is your integration and self-care after circle. So we will talk about that maybe later today or tomorrow to catch up on day 10. So if you have any questions about that, please pop them in the comments. Yeah, just pop them in the comments. And if you're stepping onto the path of a circle holder, or you want to deepen into your capacity as a circle holder, please reach out to me and have a chat and see whether Circle School is right for you, because we start on the 30th of September, so in just a couple of weeks' time. It's an incredible community of over 50 women already. The next live round is on the 30th of September. You get the 9-week signature course, you get my 14-day holding space immersion, but you also join a community for life. There's no ongoing fees for the rest of this year. I mean, there's no ongoing fees ever if you join for this final round this year. That really didn't make any sense, but hopefully you get it. And so that community includes all sorts of other incredible things. The support of a community of circle holders to be included in the Circle School directory, have circle sessions with me, which start next month, which are our interviews here on my Facebook page. What else have we got going? Monthly circles in the Circle School community held by members of Circle School, so that you get to practice holding online circles and you also get to be of service to that community. And there's various other incredible projects happening and collaborations happening. So it really is more than just a 9-week course. You're coming into an incredibly powerful community, a really welcoming community, an established community, and those connections will continue with you on this journey. We also have a wisdom library, so the guest mentors who come in, many of whom are members of Circle School, wherever possible, I invite women who are already within that community to share their wisdom with us. And if there's something that we wish to learn and that's not within the circle, then I will invite a guest mentor in to join us. So, and the 9-week course, this is the next and final way that I'm doing it completely live. So you get 9 live trainings, 9 live circles, plus everything else that's already in there, all of the resources. So please let me know if you would like to have a chat and see if it's right for you. It's only $697, and we start on September the 30th. Let me know if you have any questions, any comments. If you're watching, please do say hello in the comments, give me a heart, let me know you watched, and I will see you for day 10. Mwah. Bye for now.